Thank you for staying with us on the news at 10. Major distributors of Dangote cement across the country are in a happy mood as the cement company rewards them with cash and other gift items. At the 2018 Customers Awards in Gala Night, the president and chief executive of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, gives assurance to the distributors and other stakeholders of the best products and incentives, even as the company grows.
It's a hall packed full of distributors, management, staff and other stakeholders of Dangote Cement. They're all here to celebrate what the management of the company describes as a concrete partnership.
We are gathered here today to celebrate our valued customers and distributors for their unflinching partnership in ensuring that Dangote range of cement products remain today the first choice for construction purposes across the country. Thanks to your extraordinary commitment, our cement remains the product of choice among cement users in Nigeria and the rest of Africa.
15 award winners. For these reasons and more, 63 best-performing distributors of Dangote Cement from all the 6 geopolitical zones, national category and corporate customers get rewards for their loyalty.
Dantata and Sawer Construction Company, Nigeria.
5 national overall winners also emerge, with DC Okika Nigeria Limited taking the first place.
I'm most delighted and favored to receive this award as the first position in Dangote Africa. In fact, if you are distributing cement and you are not distributing Dangote, you are missing a lot.
Everywhere we are, we establish a distribution network. We're in Tanzania, we're in Ethiopia, we're in South Africa, we're in Zambia, we're in Congo, we're in Cameroon, we're in Senegal, we're in Ghana.
We expect our customers to grow 2-3 folds. We're going to give them the right support. So they're just not our customers. We also want to look at how they do businesses. How do we grow them? What is it that they need? So is it training? So those are things that we put in place, and we believe what we have in 2019 will be very good.
While reiterating its commitment to invest more in Nigeria, Dangote Cement PLC promises to continue to create more value for its customers through its range of cement products.
Well, it's time now to rejoin Gimba in our Lagos studios for the rest of the news at 10. Good evening.
Brilliant. Many thanks indeed, Ibrahim. Medical errors and wrong diagnosis are responsible for a number of deaths recorded in Nigeria. So says the former vice president of the Nigerian Medical Association, Mr. Rotimi Adewoye. Mr. Adewoye was speaking at the launch of a medical website in memory of Mrs. Odedino. Unveiling the website ehealth.org.ng, the bereaved husband, Mr. Soji Adedino, called on the government to place healthcare on its priority list and save the nation of avoidable deaths.
Gallstones, that's what the medical diagnosis said, and so an operation was required to take them out. The post-surgery saw the end of Mrs. Busola Odedino, who would have turned 50 in January. This gathering is in her memory.
In the National Health Act, they are supposed to set up a standard committee that anybody that wants to set up a hospital, you go and look at it and give them a say. Once you say, oh, this standard is okay, you give them a standard. That is not done. All the hospitals are just being run the way anybody likes. You set it up, the ministry give you permission, you go ahead. Whether you can even manage a post-operation complication in an hospital, Nobody wants to look at that. Oh, you are a surgeon. You put a patient to knife under anesthesia. If the patient through an embolus, how do you now manage for surgery?
3, 2, 1. We are a chosen generation.
Mr. Soji Odedino, the bereaved husband, launches a memorial website that would provide opportunity for all on available medical information.
The reason for this website is to afford Nigerians the opportunity that my wife never had, the opportunity of second-guessing the Nigerian medical system. We have medical doctors, Nigerian medical doctors who are doing extremely well outside of Nigeria. Many of them are our friends, so what we are doing is to get them on board. They have agreed to volunteer on this website, meaning that if any Nigerian has an ailment, all you need to do is to go to the website, put in your details, and you get a doctor from Europe, from the US, from other African countries like South Africa to volunteer to talk to you.
The brightness on the faces of his children, family, and friends is enough conviction for Mr. Odedino that ehealth.org.ng would save many from avoidable deaths in Nigeria.
Why do you think Britain and America will allow?
Well, it's time now for business news on the news at 10 with Anwaldo.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Bigimba. Welcome to Business News tonight. We begin with the Central Bank of Nigeria having restricted the sale of foreign exchange to importers of textile and other clothing materials. The governor of the Apex Bank, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, says the ban will encourage local production of cotton as well as create jobs in the textile sector, which has suffered a setback in the past 30 years. Mr. Emefiele made this announcement at a meeting with key players in the cotton sector, explaining that the federal government remains resolute in stopping the annual importation of textile and ready-made clothing worth $4 billion.
Key players in the cotton sector at a meeting with officials of the central bank. In the early 70s and 80s, Nigeria boasted of 180 textile mills which provided jobs for over 450,000 people. But today, the story is not the same. Textile mills have closed down. Many have lost their jobs, and the nation now depends on importation of textiles to meet its growing need for clothing.
The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr.
This, however, is likely to change with a new policy by the central bank.
All FX dealers in Nigeria, banks or non-banks or otherwise, are to desist from granting any importer of textile material access to foreign exchange in the Nigerian foreign exchange market. In addition, we shall adopt a range of other strategies that will make it difficult for recalcitrant smugglers to operate banking business in Nigeria.
One after the other, key players raise concern on challenges they want to be addressed.
Sent back to these sectors, it has become very difficult for many of these textiles and engineers to pay back this loan as scheduled, because there is poor supply of cotton from the farmers, and the setback of power supply, setback of the imported materials which you mentioned, and many other serious problems.
The central bank governor responds. He promises to intervene in getting the sector vibrant.
That we will try everything possible to anchor whatever support we want to give to the textile industry on those of you who have shown resilience and who have shown determination to remain and support Nigeria and Nigerians.
For now, textile companies operate below 20% of their production capacities, and its workforce now at 20,000. This latest intervention by the central bank governor is described as timely. Hopefully, it will help the sector to contribute to the nation's socio-economic development.
Shareholders of Access Bank PLC and Diamond Bank PLC have unanimously approved the merger of both financial institutions. The shareholders have given the approval at an extraordinary general meeting of both banks held today in Lagos. Access Bank's Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Herbert Wigwe, says the merger is expected to produce the largest banking group in Africa based on its number of customers. He explains that the combined entity will maintain the brand name of Access Bank and retain the colors of Diamond Bank. Let's check how the Nigerian equities market now. It has sustained the positive trend for the third straight session this week, following investors' interest across all major banking and consumer goods sectors. Let's join Ekaite Afia for the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. It was another round of bargain hunting in the financial services sector at the Nigerian stock market today, as investors' appetite for equities pushed the banking sector up by 0.92%. Looking at the sectoral chart, 2 of the 5 major sectors closed in the green territory, with the banking counter in the lead, followed by consumer goods, which was up by 0.25%. Big names in the banking space topped the day's trading. On the list are Diamond Bank, FBN Holdings, and UBA Bank. At the close of session, the all-share index was up by 0.14%, climbing into the 32,000 level with a net equities value of nearly 12 trillion naira. Over 400 million shares worth 3.46 billion naira were exchanged in 3,885 deals. And that's the Stock Market Report. I'm Ekaite Afia.
Thank you, Ekaite. European equities have also closed today's trading session higher. Political developments are still taking center stage. Meanwhile, it's mixed performance for other major global equities market. Investors are reacting to reports that China is cutting its growth target for the year. Well, those numbers will end business news for tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwado. It's back to you, Gimba.
You first. First Bank.
Brilliant, and thanks indeed, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10, and from our London bureau, across the world in 5. Stay with us.